saw about 10 homes. I picked one. I bought it in 14 days. I sold all 4 of the properties that I owned in New Jersey. And I packed up 2 kids, 2 dogs, and I moved all of us in 14 days from New Jersey to Texas.
What activities were you focused on in a completely brand new marketplace where you do not know a soul?
It's really simple. You ready?
Yeah.
When do you plan on moving? I needed to produce money immediately. So I had to quickly find out who was going to move in the next 30 days and be on those people until they either listed with me or just, died. I don't know.
Yeah. So I guess I'm curious, you had a complete life over in Hoboken and we're just doing your thing and, owned a few properties, had some rentals, and you had this very interesting idea during COVID to say, you know what? I think I'm going to move halfway across the country and start over from scratch. So talk to the audience a little bit about what prompted that move and what was the thought process behind it, particularly when there was it was during a time where there was a lot of uncertainty and required a really huge amount of courage to make that move.
Yeah. So in August of 2020, most people were still, they were staying home. They were trying to see what was going to happen. And for the most part, people were living in fear, right? So I took the opportunity to say, where can I grow? What can I do to take this time and really blow it up and do something amazing? So I've been in Hoboken, raising my children there, and that's a city environment. It's a great place. I'm not saying it's not, but I felt like there was something else for me. And I said, I want to take my kids out to the country. Where can I go and make a huge difference? And I considered a few different places, but for some reason, Texas it stole my heart. I said, this is going to be where we move. And so I saw about 10 homes. I picked one. I bought it in 14 days. I sold all 4 of the properties that I owned in New Jersey. And I packed up 2 kids, 2 dogs, and I moved all of us in 14 days from New Jersey to Texas.
What was kind of the thought process and what were some of the conversations that we had to continue to kind of solidify that mindset that starting over from scratch, how strong it needs to be?
Yeah, so we talked a lot about what do you start? What do you do? What do you physically do to create your first transaction, as if I was brand new in the industry again? And it's really humbling to do that. Because, if you've been in the industry for 10 years, or if you have other agents that look up to you, it's kind of cool to start brand new and, kind of experience what they experience. You learn a brand new market, you learn the trends of that market. We talked a lot about, staying focused on the goal, staying focused on contacts, contracts, and previewing property, and really just getting to know this community and how I could serve it.
What activities were you focused on in a completely brand new marketplace where you do not know a soul, you have no database, you have no people to fall back on, sort of thing. You don't know anybody, that we focused on and basically said everything else is not important. And these are the things that are going to be important.
Yeah. So it's really simple. You ready?
Yeah.
When do you plan on moving? And just let the conversation start. I mean, some people, you don't have to be that direct. Listen, people are in the South, they don't really appreciate that. So, you want to preface it a little bit different. Oh, hi, my name is such and such. What's yours? Maybe you're in line waiting to pick up your kids at school. Maybe you're going to the gym. All of us do these activities where you meet people every day, no matter how busy you are, guys. And it's very simple to start up a conversation that leads to something having to do with their real estate. Even people will give you hints too, right? If someone's if you ask them how they're doing, they seem a little down, you might find out that there's maybe some trouble in their marriage or some reason why they might need to move.
We had a number that you were focused on, in terms of contacts, right? Because we're aware that, as a salesperson, our job is to be in the presence of prospects. And just to remember that, I think that's part of your competitive advantage because you're very clear on that while other people aren't. So talk to us a little bit about what your focus was numbers wise and the methodologies that you use. Because I know you weren't just doing one methodology, you were doing multiple methods to get to that number.
Absolutely. So we had an issue with speed to result, right? So for us, what we talked about was talking to 50 people a day and getting to appointments and getting from appointments to contracts to negotiation to close because I didn't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
So under normal conditions, you probably don't need to talk to that many people. You need to have better quality conversations because they may not move today, but they'll move in a year. And now you add them to your database. They know you, et cetera, et cetera. I didn't have that time. I needed to produce money immediately. So I had to quickly find out who was going to move in the next 30 days and be on those people until they either listed with me or just, died. I don't know.
Yeah, or told you to go fly a kite. And
Yeah.
what is interesting is that understanding and that sense of urgency. I don't think people approach things with that level of urgency. My experience is that there's different levels of importance. One is like, it's not important at all. Two is important. And what's interesting about important is, I'm sure you're like me, if there's something that's important, it's important, but it may not get done for a little bit. But then there's an emergency. And an emergency is you drop everything that you're doing right now.
Exactly.
Right. And what I'm aware of is that we were very clear that producing income was an emergency. It's not something like, oh, I'll get to it sort of thing. It's like, nope, it is the most important thing. Not only were you calling, I'm aware you would send me pictures of you knocking on doors, right? I think you lost one of your earrings knocking on doors and you kept going like you didn't even care. So it's just, I think that level of urgency is something that, people aren't clear about. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. You're going to be considered pushy or rude by some people, but what's going to happen is you're going to find people who genuinely need you. Like either another realtor has failed them or they tried to do it on their own and they just couldn't. And when they meet you and you're quote unquote pushy, which is actually just being direct and aggressive, you are a breath of fresh air to them. They are so happy to meet you in your urgency because now they trust that you're going to get this done because they see how badly you want to get it done.